guy came in one night and he got held up at gunpoint. Another employee embezzled from him. That catapulted me into a change from one six-figure business into a multiple six-figure consulting business. You do those things over time, you're gonna be successful, making 10 million plus.
All right, guys, welcome back to the pod. Today, here with my dad. Introduce yourself.
Chad M. Graue.
Chad M. Graue. We are here.
7/11/76.
That's his birthday. This is my second podcast ever, first one with a guest, so we'll see how this goes. I think it'll be a little bit easier because I don't have to talk the whole time, so hopefully it'll be better.
I'm pretty fun.
He is. We got a couple different topics we're going to talk about. Yeah, I think we should just jump right into it. There's not really much of an intro I need to say, but...
I'm honored to be guest number one on the pod.
Guest number one, baby. We're home. I'm back in Illinois for Christmas. If you guys can't tell, got the good scenery in the background, but yeah, should be a good one. I'm excited for this. Should be pretty funny. Stick to the end. Let's do it.
It might be kind of a shit show with pets. We've got pets wandering around here.
Yeah, we have currently a puppy that's how old?
5.5 months.
5.5 months, and we have an elderly cat.
Old.
And a three-legged cat. You guys know Stitch. Anyway.
So this is Q&A?
Some very personal and deep questions that you've never said on the internet. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
All right. First, we're just going to go into it with child life. How was it like growing up? Where'd you grow up? How was your family life?
Lincoln, Illinois, small town, rural Illinois, like 16,000 people. Right in the middle of the state. I would say, I was lucky. I have great parents. I grew up around my cousins. I had brothers and sisters, played sports, liked school.
His brother and dad were actually just here. We were just celebrating Christmas with them, so it was a good time.
I don't visit as often as I probably should, but it was a good place to grow up. It was a good era to grow up.
For sure,
in the 80s and 70s, 80s, and 90s.
When did you graduate high school?
1994.
1994.
Just had my 30th class reunion this year, so that was fun.
That's actually crazy. I didn't even realize that. Where'd you go to college? What'd you do for college? What'd you study?
So it's been kind of an interesting journey. So played golf in high school. I was good, but not great by any means. And so I decided that I wanted to be a golf pro. Like not a touring pro, but like a country club or
Tiger
resort
Woods
pro.
type shit.
Negative, not that. I went to Mississippi State University for a year to be in their PGM program. And that basically is a golf management degree, 4.5 years. Like there were only 3 schools in the country that offered it, sanctioned by the PGA of America at the time. So I was really excited about it, but got down there and within 8 weeks, I knew that probably was not going to be the career path for me because talking to the alumni and the older students, they're like, here's what you can expect. You're going to be working 60, 80 hours a week as an assistant, making 20 to 30,000 a year. The alumni are like, yeah, it's generally known that we have a high incidence of alcoholism and divorce. And
not ideal.
I was like, okay. You work up for the big jobs for a really, really, really long time and you move around a lot. And that just wasn't really my vibe. What has changed like the minute I got there though is that Tiger Woods won his first tournament as a pro when I was there, and golf has exploded since then. So sometimes I wonder like what it would be like if I where I would be if I stayed there, but just because I'm curious, not because I desire that per se. But I then transferred to pharmacy school. The fall of my first semester, I knew I was going to transfer, and I transferred to St. Louis College of Pharmacy in St. Louis, Missouri. So yeah, that was step number one. And then I got my doctor of pharmacy degree there. Met my wife there, met awesome friends there, had a great time in St. Louis, liked health, still do, liked pharmacy, and that was an awesome time of my life.
So in the pharmacy aspect, you had a job in high school for pharmacy. Did that kind of lead you into the college, wanted to go through that route?
So his grandpa, my dad, Grandpa Denny, he owned 4 pharmacies, independent pharmacies, Graue Pharmacy, Mount Pulaski Pharmacy, Mason City Pharmacy. So not like a big, Walgreens, CVS type thing. So he had a great business. He had a big impact on the community. He made good money. He was good at what he did. I saw him being good at what he did. So that had me interested in pharmacy. Plus I had other friends that had worked for him that went on to be pharmacists, and they enjoyed it. They did well. Job market was great. So
any that went to St. Louis College of Pharmacy? Or?
A lot of them. So one of his former students, Devin, shout out Devin. That's why I decided to transfer to pharmacy in the first place, but because Grandpa Denny he did awesome, and it was, he's my hero. Went through a lot of stuff and had a very successful business. Ultimately sold a few aspects of his business, both the retail side of the pharmacy and the nursing home side of the pharmacy. So he did really well. That's kind of what led to pharmacy in the first place.
In pharmacy, is St. Louis College of Pharmacy, was that like one of the main ones that people would go to if they were into that in this area, or was there other like across the country that was more popular as well? So the unique thing about St. Louis College of Pharmacy is, well, from this area, it was mostly people from rural Missouri and rural Illinois that went to school there. Since I have graduated, and actually kind of when I was
when I just had graduated, there was another school of pharmacy in Edwardsville, which is just across the river from St. Louis, and that started attracting a lot of people.
It's still a thing?
It's still a thing. And there actually have been a lot of more pharmacies pop up, pharmacy schools pop up. But the unique thing about St. Louis College of Pharmacy is it's like a small, private, smaller school. It's not like a part of a big university, and you take pharmacy classes from your first semester you get there, which is unique. If you were to go to like University of Illinois, you'd have to go to U of I for a few years and then transfer. Here, you go right into pharmacy classes, which is kind of cool. It's kind of changed now. It's actually called University Health Systems of Pharmacy or something now. It's probably not even the right name. We still call it St. Louis College of Pharmacy, but It was a good school. It wasn't easy.
College hoops. NCAA basketball run or what?
NCAA basketball player, NAI Division II. I had a career-ending ACL meniscus tear, though, in January of 1996, and still feel the pain of that every day of my life today.
He was on an NBA run.
No. So yeah, played that for a semester. Our first practice, there were 4 people that showed up to play. That's why I was able to play.
So it was like a sign-up type of deal?
Pretty much.
Were you guys good, though?
No.
No?
No, we were not good. Yeah, so it was great. I would say, though, for what it's worth, for whoever's watching this, probably the most impactful thing that I did in school that helped me today is that I was involved in a lot of crap at the school. In a fraternity, ultimately held a few positions in the fraternity, was the president of the fraternity, was in the student council, was president of the student council, worked in the gym. So I got involved talking to a lot of people, got comfortable being involved with planning things and talking to like the faculty and the administration and just trying to get to know a lot of people, because being good at communicating and networking, I think is, and just developing the confidence of doing those things and planning and organizing things, like, has helped me tremendously. Just as much as like getting the degree and taking the classes and all that stuff. So
how long were you at St. Louis College of Pharmacy? It was like 6 years?
6 years.
6 years, and then 1 full year at Mississippi State?
Yep, so I was 1 year at Mississippi State, transferred in as a freshman, which at first I was like, oh, that kind of sucks, but it actually worked out really well because I had like fewer hours every semester than pretty much everybody else in my class. I don't think I ever took more than 13 hours, which is like 4 classes. So it worked out in the end because my class load was lighter than a lot of people, which, that didn't suck.
So coming from a small town in Illinois, what makes you choose Mississippi State for being your first place to go to college? And if you had any other options, what were the options? And how was your experience just being there straight out of high school, really far away from home?
So one of the guys that used to work for my dad as a delivery boy in the pharmacy actually went to become a golf pro as well. And he went out to a 18-month program in San Diego. So that sounded pretty cool. But he advised me that the better path was to go through a program that was accredited by the PGA of America, Professional Golf Association. So at that time there was 4. Ferris State, Michigan, New Mexico State, Mississippi State, and Penn State. Well, I didn't want to go to Michigan or Penn State because that was cold so much of the year if I want to play golf. So I was either going to go to New Mexico State or Mississippi State. I applied to both, got accepted to both, did a visit to Mississippi State, and it was drivable, like 8.5 hours from home, and it was awesome, so I committed there. As far as being down there, it was nice because I was in a group of like 200 people in this program right away, and so I had a lot of friends that I met through that. Being on that big college campus experience was awesome, going to all the NCAA Division I sports, going to the football games for $2 a game. I saw Peyton Manning's first action as a college player.
Yes, sir.
Went to the basketball games. We went to the Sweet 16 that year. The year after I left, I went to the Final Four. Baseball, they're epic in baseball. So being around that environment in the big school, super awesome. But there's so much to be said about the smaller school too. Just knowing more people and being able to know the president of the university or the dean, and that was pretty fun too. So it was awesome.
So back to St. Louis College of Pharmacy. Meeting Mom, you met her at St. Louis College of Pharmacy. How does that go down? How'd you meet Mom? How'd you riz her up? How did it go?
How did I riz her up? So she was a third-year student, and I was a freshman. She's only 1 year older than me, but again, I transferred as a freshman. So she graduated high school a year ahead of me, but I was 2 years behind her in school since I lost that 1 year transferring in. But I didn't even see her until like early October, and I was in the lunchroom, and I was like, who's this? She was dating somebody else.
Yeah.
He was actually a physician. And so I was like, no shot, right? But she's hot. As luck would have it, I went to a party on October 20th of 1995, and it was at a barn. It was a fraternity party for the fraternity I would join, and we all had to get on a school bus and leave from St. Louis to go to Breeze, Illinois. Thankfully, the school bus started having problems, so we had to go and switch buses. When I got on the second bus, I said, there's that hottie. I sat right behind her, started up conversation, and it was around Halloween, so I had candy corn in my pocket.
An elite candy, by the way, let me tell you.
So I pulled it out with the lint and everything on the sticky candy, and I was like, I reached across the school bus, the yellow school bus seat, and I'm like, you want some candy corn? And so there it was with lint and hot candy corns, and that is where we are 35 years later.
The rest is history, right?
Yeah, 30 years later. 30 years later. So
married in 2000?
2000.
And then soon after that, 2002, you guys had my sister, and then 2004 had me.
Yep.
What was that like, starting a family, starting to have kids? What were the memories that you take away from that?
It was fun, like starting, and we were very fortunate. Some couples struggle to have kids, and I can't imagine going through what a lot of people do. We were really fortunate to get pregnant with Abby pretty quickly. And then for you, like, same thing. Actually, high five. Today's Christmas Eve.
Okay. I'm a September birthday, okay?
Griffin was conceived on Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve.
All right, that's going to end the pod. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.
You know, we kind of planned. We want to have you guys about 2 years apart. Everything worked out. We actually delivered you. We had a scheduled induction, meaning we went and started your delivery like on purpose, like at the hospital.
What?
A few weeks early. Yeah. It was actually funny. We went to dinner. It was our anniversary, because our anniversary is September 23rd. We went to dinner. Katie's we're all dressed up. We go out to dinner. She's like super 9 months pregnant. And then we have a great meal. We come home. We watch Survivor on VHS. We taped it on VHS.
No shot.
And then we were like, okay, well, let's get our other clothes on. And we drove to the hospital. Kate got her epidural. We slept like pretty much all night until we woke up, and the nurse was like, all right, it's time to push. The baby's coming. And then like an hour later, you were here. So super easy. Abby's was much longer delivery. It was like overnight until 1 p.m. the next day. On that aspect, things worked out really well. We had boy, girl. They're 2 years apart. Got pregnant when we wanted to, so we felt really blessed. Everybody was healthy.
How'd you guys land on the name Abby and Griffin? Like, how did that come about? You just kind of wanted that?
Abby was mom's name of choice for a girl for like ever. Okay. Abby with an IE. And then Griffin, I don't know, that was my idea.
Yours?
And that was,
Griffin was yours?
Yes. It was either going to be Evan Brandon, or Griffin something. And
like Brandon is the middle name?
Yes.
You know what's crazy? Like, my best friend's name is Evan. So if we would have had two Evans, that would be crazy.
Yep. So then, but as far as biggest takeaways, parenting is the most rewarding, amazing, also challenging thing there is. It's like challenging, but it's like the most coolest thing ever.
What's like a core memory that you have from that time frame that just like sticks in your head for the long run, like that you won't ever forget about?
I would say we did a lot of traveling ever since you were little, so we saw some pretty cool stuff. Our deal is we like to spend a lot of time with you, and we prioritize our work around our life rather than life around our work. The first trip to Disney was pretty epic.
Is that when I ran away?
That was the second time.
Oh, should we get into that?
Yeah, the first time it was perfect. Like, we went in February, it wasn't super busy, weather was amazing, we did all.
Do you guys want to come say hi real quick?
Yeah, we got.
My mom and sister just pulled up with the dog, with the puppy. Say what's up.
What's up, podcast?
We're here. This is my
podcast.
Yeah, this is my parents' new puppy, Louie.
He's amazing.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
Yeah. Super pumped about the podcast.
For real.
You guys were super little. You're watching all the shows in the morning before Mom would go to work or I go to work.
Hot dog.
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
I remember watching
Little
that.
Einsteins. So going to all the character greetings and seeing you guys like see like the, not people, but like the characters was awesome.
Yeah.
Being in Florida in February when it was like 75 and sunny, when it was balls ass cold here at home.
Oh my gosh.
It was fun. And then we went back the second time, and that's when you got lost. And that was...
I was running after the Power Rangers trying to get an autograph, and it did not end well, boys. And there was like a parade or whatever. We're all getting our stuff signed, you know. I see the the pink Power Ranger, I believe. Was it? Or what?
I don't remember.
I don't know. Yeah. Some Power Ranger. Didn't get their autograph. Got everybody else's. They're going away. I'm like, no, I need it. So I go, run after their float. Got lost, basically.
Yeah.
And what, you were running your head off, freaking out, trying to find me? Or
People are watching this at an intersection at Disney, MGM Hollywood Studios. So then the little show ends and the car drives off. And at this point, we have learned, like, Kate thought I had you, I thought she had you. And then the car starts driving. I'm like, don't drive, because I don't know where my kid is at. And then people just disperse everywhere. So it's just chaos. And then we're just like, where's Griffin? Where's Griffin? So
That's
we're
terrible.
Automatic freak out. And I just start running all the places.
Hitting the dash?
Yes, and my mouth was so dry. And we came back. Kate found a worker. Kate found a worker. Showed him a picture of what you're wearing, and then 5 minutes later,
I had 5-star wanted level.
Comes around the corner with a security guard, and I'm just like, oh my god! So thank God, but
That's
it was
brutal. I
it was
can't
brutal.
even
But
imagine.
otherwise, in the same trip, my wife went to the ER, and then Griffin, Abby, and I were all sick. Had to go to prompt care. We missed our Easter brunch, so we were sick.
We were all
and we
sick?
lost a kid. Yes, we
Oh
were
my gosh.
taking ibuprofen and Tylenol like around the clock.
I kind of want to go into more of like business stuff, because you're not a pharmacist anymore, and you had a little run with a separate business before what you're doing now. And after pharmacy, what was the steps that you took after that and creating wealth for yourself and figuring out how to be successful in like your own business standpoint?
So did pharmacy from 2000 to 2010. Had a good job. When I used to be like patient care, where I was like going to nursing homes and reviewing charts and interact with the nursing staff and some of the physicians and sometimes the patients, and that was good. And I took a job that was like up in a corporate level, like that was a job that was created, and it was a good job, but it got me out of patient care and more involved with corporate things, like with earnings calls, and ended up being like less fulfilling. That same time, I started to do P90X, which is a program, like a fitness program for at-home use. And I did that, and I learned about an opportunity that they had to be a part of like their multi-level marketing, network marketing, direct sales, and saw a video called the Decide video. And basically it showed these other people like that had their, parents with young kids, and they're out going on these trips and earning money, working from home. And I was like, I was kind of currently not very fulfilled with what I was doing. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Kind of like an eye opener.
Yeah. So then I'm like, well, if they can do that, I can do that. So we looked into that and, ended up building a team of about 1,000 people through that, and changed a lot of lives from a health and fitness standpoint. We got in good shape. We learned some good habits. And it was an amazing, amazing season of our lives, where I also was introduced to books, self-development, courses, attending conferences. And that is the catapult for learning, because learning really doesn't even start till you're out of college. Sorry, but that's the truth. And that was something that I learned from that business, because self-development is like a core principle of that business model, because you face a shit ton of rejection.
Yeah.
and you have to be motivated to do your work.
On the book side of things, when you said you started going to courses and books and stuff like that, what would be like, I know it's a hard question, guys. If I could show you, I would show you his book collection. He has like rainbow, like, I don't even know, like if I'm standing up, I'm not gonna stand up, but like it's so high off the ground, like how many books he has, a huge shelf, so many books. Like how many books do you think you have in there?
Probably a couple hundred.
Couple hundred books like sitting in there. Anyway, what would you say your favorite book, or most like gave you knowledge on like what route you wanted to take, or like that something really clicked after you read it? Like what book would that be that really sparked something?
One book, one audio. The book was The Compound Effect, which you read and you liked. It's easy to read. The principle is that you can get nudged off course, which means if you nudge small bad habits, compound over time to be getting you way off track, but just a nudge to start. But also, if you take incremental steps every day, then you can have massive success over time, and that compounds just like interest. So that book was great. The best thing I've heard or read, an audio book called The Art of Exceptional Living by Jim Rohn. I used to listen to it in the car. Jim Rohn has actually passed away. Shortly after I found that book, he had passed away, but he was the mentor to the author of The Compound Effect. So that's how I knew about that.
Okay.
Both he and his sister like laughed, because the delivery is kind of unique. He's a really older gentleman, but the philosophies that he challenges you on in that, it's like eye-opening. And so that book, it's on YouTube. Search it for The Art of Exceptional Living by Jim Rohn. Freaking awesome. That was legit.
Yeah.
So good.
Cool. And how would you say, like, on the conference side of things, like, how do you get yourself to spend thousands of dollars to go to a conference and hear somebody talk when you can just read a book or look something up online? I know it was a little different when you were starting. Like, YouTube wasn't as big. People weren't posting business stuff on YouTube like how they are now. That's like a really big thing on YouTube nowadays. How do you get yourself to spend thousands of dollars and put that money down to invest in yourself? And what was the best one that you went to and the takeaways you had from it?
I would say the decision to pay $3,000 with lodging, airfare, conference tickets, food, all that stuff,
All the expenses to get out.
Yeah, to your point, there's great books, there's great YouTube videos, there's online summit courses you can take from your home for $100, and those are great. And I've done those things. I still do those things. But I find that I have to get out of my normal routine to be in a new environment to be able to take on massive changes in learning, if that makes sense. Going to a nice hotel, dressing to feel confident, going and interacting and networking with people, being in a room where the energy is there, everybody is there to get to move their life forward.
It's like the gym. It's like going to the gym. Everybody's there to progress, like to get better. Nobody's going there just to be there. Like you're spending the money on a membership to go to the gym, spending the money to go to the conference because you want to better yourself. Anyway, as you're saying.
Yep. No, that's a good comparison. And then going there, when you're around people who are ahead of you, it's like either on the stage or people in the audience. They are people who are way ahead of you, or there's people that are behind you. There are people that are similar to you. Everybody just again wants to learn, and it's inspiring to me. Even like treating yourself to a nice meal while you're kind of detached from home in your business, like basically it's a good opportunity to just refresh, reset, treat yourself a little bit, work on your vision, learn from people. Like it's just different hearing from somebody like on a YouTube video or having them right in front of you. Like the energy is just different. So I think that it's a mix of both, of doing stuff at home and doing conferences. As far as the best one that I went to was, from a content perspective, was in Minneapolis, October of 2016. At that point, 6 years into my building a team with Team Beachbody, it was going well, but I was kind of getting sick of building a business on social media and having to post on social media. That was before stories came out, and then stories came out. I'm like, hell no, it's just not I don't really do that. It's just not how I like to do things. But so then I was looking at, I'm falling in love with marketing my business, and I understand email automation and I understand email marketing and I know what's possible there. So I went to that conference and heard from just world-class speakers. It was in a really cool old train station in downtown Minneapolis. So I got to get to Minneapolis, a city I'd never been to, and explore like around the city and on the river and have a good meal. I met some people there. That was probably the best one. And that catapulted me into a change from one six-figure business into a multiple six-figure consulting business. And if I don't go to that conference, I don't make that leap.
That's so crazy. What was the biggest takeaway from it?
Biggest takeaway.
Like what took you from six figures to multiple six figures with the own business that we'll get into in a second in that conference specifically?
Okay, so the mentor that I met there, Brendan Dunn, he did a presentation on email automation. I was doing the basics of what he taught. So it made sense to me when somebody would email me about our coaching business, then use systems to leverage my communication with them. If they submitted their email address on our website, a series of actions that I determine what those things are, I want those to be at play when I'm sleeping, when I'm at the baseball diamond with him, versus like having to respond to a DM on Instagram or having to respond to a Facebook message.
You were creating all the automation.
Yes, I was already doing the bare basics of that, which nobody really does. Anyhow, so especially that time, because everybody's like, oh, social media. And I get it, like there's definitely a time and place for it. This is on YouTube, it's a great platform. People grow $1 million businesses on Instagram, Twitter and all that. I get that, but it's just not my vibe as much as building something that can work while I'm sleeping. He then showed me some newer technology that used a lot of basically more information, more attributes for a subscriber, and if they were a buyer or a non-buyer, or if they were a high-value customer, how could you treat them differently and send them different emails? And then how can you upsell them if they bought one thing? How can you upsell them on buying something else? How can you continue to onboard them and educate them so that they're ready to buy, versus if a customer self-selects to buy, they're going to be a better customer versus somebody if you have to like convince to buy with just sales emails. So basically that's what I learned. And then while I was there, I spent $3,500 on 2 more certifications. When I was at the conference, I learned more about the software that put the conference on. My takeaway from the conference was I'm already pretty good at this, and that this is pretty advanced stuff that I know how to do. I'm interested in figuring it out. This is something that people that make millions of dollars per year in revenue, like they would pay me to do it so they can just keep doing what they're doing, and I can learn how to show them the value I can bring. So I also bought 3 or 4 courses from him on how to write a proposal so that it gets accepted, how to get paid for writing a proposal that gets accepted. Most people write proposals for free and they don't get accepted, and they've done all this work and get nothing out of it. Why charge people for proposals? Always have, and the only time I didn't, it was before I bought that course. I did a free proposal, jack shit. came of it. I've never been denied when I wrote a proposal that I got paid to write. Learning that this is a high value skill that I have, I can further develop it. I can pay $3,500 to get 2 certifications to get really good at it, and then people will come to me, or I can come to people and say, hey, I'm in this smaller community of people that are certified for this. Here's my body of work. The next level of that is that then I started taking on clients. I worked with Utah State University. I worked with an Evernote. Yeah, an Evernote creator.
Stuff. I'm learning.
I work with an Evernote platform like leader. I'm Stacy Harmon. She's awesome. I work with a financial advisor. I worked with the guy who sold supplements. So I took on a bunch of different clients. And then I had a farm, an e-commerce farm, meaning they have their own website. You go to their website, you buy, it ships directly from your home, just like Amazon, but it's a farm that sells beef, pork, chicken, eggs, and such.
Shout out Seven Sons.
Shout out Seven Sons. I work with them and I'm like, this is awesome. And it was also like health related, it was food related. They're great people. And then I learned that I have a high value skill. It's helping them leverage their time. And then I can be the one to only work in this niche. So I niched down a skill that brings a lot of value. First, it was, I like email. Then it's like, I like email automation. And then it's like, I like email automation for farms. And now it's, I like email automation for farms making 10 million plus. Some are 20 plus million. But bottom line, it's like, if you're a farm that meets those criteria, then I'm your guy. Like, I can help you, and I have demonstrable proof that that's the case.
Exactly, and social proof's everything, and you have that. Yeah. So it's like, I follow Alex Ramosi a lot, and I know that's also something he does a lot. Like, he really breaks down, like, getting in a super like tight niche of like your business that you want to expand or whatever. And he also has a saying to the investing in yourself portion that I was talking about earlier. Say you're making $50,000 a year, you want to be making $1 million a year. Obviously that's a big number, but $1 million a year, it's costing you $950,000 a year of not investing in yourself to make that $1 million a year because you're only making $50,000 a year and you're afraid to invest in yourself.
One of the other things that I think, as far as getting back to your question on like, why did I invest in this conference or why did I invest in that book? One of the guys I also enjoyed was an older gentleman named Brian Tracy. In one of his presentations, he's like, I forget the number. I think it was like for every $1 you spend on learning, it pays you back $32. So I'm like, well, then I shouldn't. If you could have an investment that pays you back $32 for every $1 you spent, I'm like, okay, the maths. I should invest more in these if I want to have a good ROI, and that's the main thing. And that's what I've tried to talk to you about. And he's super proud of him. Like he's eating up books and listening to podcasts and watching YouTube videos and working hard and learning. So
appreciate that.
That's
got the role model here. He needs a little drink break. Me too. These mics like pick up throat sounds.
It's like ASMR.
I'm trying not to drink this while I'm at it. I didn't really think that through. But anyways, so speaking about role models, kind of what you just ended off saying, who were your 3, you'd say, top role models that inspired you, whether that's just in life in general or through your business? It can be 2 different people. It can be multiple different people. Who is like somebody that you look at and you're like, dang, like I want to be like them, or inspired you in any way?
Yeah, I mean, my dad, number one, being a business owner, seeing how he cared for his employees, how he cared for the public as a pharmacist. Like he's like spends time with people. He had a gun in his nose. He got held up. 2 of his best technicians, one died the year after or so she retired in a plane wreck with her husband. That's the person that he opened the pharmacy with. It was just him and her starting. Another one passed away in an accident. Another employee embezzled from him. He went through a lot. The state wasn't paying him. So basically he was successful, but like he endured some shit.
Do you mind getting into the topic of the whole gunpoint thing? Because that's obviously a pretty crazy deal.
Yeah, he was at the store one night, and I was little. I mean, I was little. I might not even been born. I can't remember, but it was at the first pharmacy, and yeah, a guy came in one night, and I don't remember the whole details of the story, but basically he got held up at gunpoint. I don't know all the details. I haven't asked him about it too much. We'll have to ask. He would tell us.
Yeah.
I just haven't really.
And how long ago was this?
That was in the 70s. Or the early 80s.
So somebody was trying to rob his store?
Yeah. Probably, I don't know if it was for narcotics or what, but anyhow, yeah.
It's crazy.
So wild. But him, the main thing in working for him, like seeing how he like cared for and like how awesome he treated his employees and how much they appreciated him. Great place to work. And then seeing like his impact in the community, it was pretty sweet because basketball in Lincoln High School is like a big deal. Yep. So everyone in the community goes to those games, did go to the games, and like he always had the whole back page of the program was Graue Pharmacy. So I was just really proud of him. Like, I'm like, yeah, that's my dad. He was awesome. in that regard. I would say my brother Eric, he's valedictorian, All-State in basketball, transitioned careers from consultant to financial advising, made big changes there. I always had him to look up to. My other uncles in town owned car dealerships. My one other uncle owned a successful vending business. So I had a lot of people around me that were in business and they did well. So that was super helpful. Uncle Mike, Uncle Danny, Uncle Bob, Chris, that was awesome. And then once I kind of made my transition, first person that was inspiring and helped me think bigger was Carl Deichler, who was the CEO of Beachbody, kind of facing some crap right now with the way that they transitioned out our coach business model. It's ending in a month, so right now he's kind of getting some flack, which he's in a tough spot.
To get a little deeper into that, basically they had people who were marketing for their business and they were making good revenue off of that, basically making, what's the word here?
Residual income.
Yeah, they're making money based off of every purchase that somebody would make from them getting the sale for the business, and they kind of stopped doing that, and now it's what, affiliates?
They're doing an affiliate model. I'm just grateful. I'm super grateful for the last 14 years of that. But he's amazing, very inspiring, high energy. He talks and you feel better about yourself. He walks the talk. He exercises, he reads, he lifts people up. So he's one. Brendan Dunn's somebody I learned from online, a lot from online. John Maxwell from a leadership perspective, 21 Laws of Irrefutable Leadership, 5 Levels of Leadership, 360-Degree Leader, awesome books. He's great.
That is a good one. I just finished that one.
Yeah.
Well, to wrap it up, a couple more questions I'd like to say, but they're not as broad topics, more just quick little things, or we can go into depth in them if you have further, things to say with them. But if you were in your early 20s right now, what would you do to build success in your future? And what would be your route right now? If you had to start from the beginning, say you knew you wanted to be consulting. Obviously you didn't at the time, but if you had to build up to a consulting business, what would you be doing right now at 20 years old?
Learning. One of the quotes I've heard is as soon as you're through learning, you're through. You can't stop learning. So whether that's reading books, listen to podcasts like this one and other ones.
Tap in.
Watching YouTube videos. There's so much free shit on YouTube that's not shit.
YouTube's a blessing,
yeah,
dude. They have so much good stuff on there nowadays.
Yep. So I would say learning, number one. Right behind that or alongside it is focusing on your many aspects of your health. Exercise, walking, being outside, trying to eat nutritiously, sleep. These are things I talk about with him. And I would just say to any 20-year-old, any 48-year-old, if you can do those things, they're going to help you become the best version of yourself. I could exercise. I do pretty well for my age, I would say, but I know I could challenge myself a little bit more. And I think it's impossible to reach your full potential if you're not exercising. I think it's impossible.
Facts, definitely.
So you'll have the energy that you need, the creativity that will drive you. That's when I walk, when I run, when I bike, I have ideas that just spark all the time.
Would you say it's your go-to way to be active is biking? Or I know you walk
honestly,
a lot.
Yeah, probably walking, and in the summer, I actually didn't bike as much this year. I need to lift more weights. I'm fairly consistent, but that's my number one thing for this year. My go-to, if I could walk like I do it now every day, 2.5 miles at least, and then if I could do 3 awesome resistance training workouts a week and 1 or 2 higher, longer duration cardio, that would be a win.
Yeah, it helps everything. And I just want to clarify real quick, when we're saying walk, we're not meaning walk down the street and walk back, and then eat a big fatty meal, it's a intense, paced walk.
This morning at Christmas Eve, we had people coming over. I had shit all over the kitchen. We had a lot of meals to come, and I put some of the stuff in the oven. I'm I gotta go on my walk. And despite people were coming in 2.5 hours, it couldn't not happen because I needed to get outside. Actually, it was also pretty nice today. It was 35 or 40 and sunny.
That's so bad. I have a video of him. He has the screen door open and it's 35 degrees outside. You guys know I'm not really used to that anymore. I grew up here, but that's the main reason I moved. I literally hated the weather so bad. So I'm sitting here freezing my balls off. He's over here in the kitchen it feels good. It's warm. It's warm.
It's hot in here.
Anyway.
So learning your health. Being around people is part of that. Trying to disengage from your phone, whether you're 28, 18, 48, whatever, that's another thing. Building something, creating something, whether it's a business, a social media channel, something with your hands. If you're working on something that inspires you, if you're exercising, if you're learning, you're around other people, those things, I feel with the compound effect, that book, you do those things over time, you're going to be successful. As far as the specific things, for building a business, I would say learning to build an audience. It's not my favorite thing. I like monetizing the audience, but building an audience is hard for me. Learning is oftentimes a crutch for me too. So sometimes I'm I just need to read this one more book. No. No, I know what to do. I just have to do it. Or I need to take this course. I need to follow this guy and read more of these tweets. So that's something I could improve on.
Yeah.
But I would say building an audience, and so that when you're prepared to monetize something, you have the audience. We talked about this. I would say for me, like I generally like Twitter more.
X is fire. I like X a lot.
I still call it Twitter.
Everybody calls
X.
it Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get myself to call it X.
But I'm interested in like maybe, man, sometimes I do kind of get sucked into it. But what about the video format on like Instagram or TikTok? And I'm like, no, that's why I left the 2 businesses ago, is because like it was just too much. So I don't know. That's kind of my 2 cents. Mostly it's habit and skills and health related. I don't know how helpful that is, but I feel like there could be more specific advice for somebody based upon if I know about their situation. But I think those are important.
Next phase of life. What's coming up? I know you got my sister. She doesn't live here, or I guess she does still like live here, but she's in school. She's about to graduate and move to Michigan. I obviously am not here. I'm in California. So what's the next phase of life looking like? You're empty nesters. You're in an empty nester phase. Just got a stroller dog, as we say.
Yeah.
So what would you say like the next phase of your life should look like, and what are you working up towards and working on?
Katie and I, we like to travel. And we've been fortunate to grow up in a nice little community here that's close to St. Louis, that's been good for raising a family, but we're also ready to just do something different. So we are looking to sell a home. We don't have a huge home, but it's a nice home. I want like just smaller, like minimalistic. I'm total minimalistic thinking right now with trying to sell things that we aren't going to use. Having a smaller home, apartment, or townhome or condo that's nice, that is hopefully walkable. Like right now, we couldn't walk to have coffee or dinner or to a park. We walk the neighborhoods around us and we drive to get coffee or go to dinner. We would like to try city life for a season to where we can walk to grab coffee, grab lunch, walk in the park, things like that. So probably Chicago, but there's we've talked about just selling our house, selling everything, selling one of our cars, and just selling as much as possible, getting a rental like place, put our stuff in it, and then go live somewhere for 3 months with an Airbnb, and then go somewhere else. Totally up in the air. And
life on the road, huh?
We're just down to do something different, and we're not committed to some specific thing, but those are some of the things we've talked about. We'll try to sell this house, and we'll maybe figure out something new. I still feel like I could build something and want to build something, but I have a really great work partner right now that I enjoy working with, so they treat me good. I like the work, so I think there's still a really long road ahead for me there. So that's really it. Being able to travel and come see him, that's really the main thing right now. So yeah,
anything else you'd like to add
to the whole pod, or to the what's
in general? Anything you want to say? Anything you want to shout out? Just anything in general. Anything you want.
Man.
Any words of inspiration to the young youth watching this video?
I feel like the things I've already said are the things that
Hopefully you're motivated watching this.
Yeah,
you know
I mean,
follow your dreams, kids.
I'm proud of him for doing what he's doing. I mean, he's doing a lot of important things I'm really proud of, and as is his sister. I mean, we're fortunate parents to have 2 great kids. So I'm happy to follow along and see where the podcast goes, and I think he's got a lot of ideas. I like to see.
It's literally episode 2, so we'll see where it goes.
I like to see anybody, if they're excited about what they're doing, then I think that's awesome. So
for sure, thankful for you. Great role model. It's been a good pod.
Thank you.
Let's get it.
You.
We'll see y'all next Friday. Peace.
Walk in the room with a purpose. Yeah.